What's up, guys? It's me, JellyKnees. We've finally seen some things about Ethereal and Dante specifically that I want to go over everything that I possibly can with you. So, yesterday there was an event with Extra Life and Undying Games where they showcased a ARAM version of the map and allowed the people that they invited and some of the devs to play Dante on that map. That map was created specifically for Extra Life and will not be in the final version of the game. And I have a whole nother video going over the gameplay and all of that stuff. So make sure you guys go and watch that as well. But this is more so just about Dante, his kit, how it feels, and what I think the abilities are mostly going to be used for in terms of being a marksman. I do want to let you guys know that the version of Dante that I played was still work in progress. We don't know that these abilities will be the final abilities and that the damage numbers are finalized, though I assume the damage numbers are not based on you could one shot people with some of them. But right now, Dante has, or the version of Dante I was able to play has 5 active abilities, not including the marksman class ability, and he has his basic attacks. So, in order to cast your abilities in Ethereal, you'll have to use the 1 through 4 number keys and then the left and right mouse button. Left being for auto attacks and right mouse button being an extra ability. To upgrade them, you'll have to hit Control and then the corresponding key that goes with the ability, except in the case of the right mouse button, which automatically leveled itself throughout the game. And I don't know if that is intended or if that was just some weird bug that was going through, but I did notice that without doing anything, the right mouse button leveled itself the longer we played in these games. So first off, I want to start with Dante's one ability. Dante raises his right hand and fires a piercing shot that goes through minions, enemy myths, the whole 9 yards, and it seemingly does the same or very, very similar damage to all of them. Unfortunately, I can't give you guys damage numbers at all because I wasn't even given damage numbers, but I just want to go over what I was able to feel and see. So this piercing shot goes through. It seems like it's going to be a wave clear ability. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does enough that you might be able to wave clear and poke at the same time in that duo lane. Um, the second ability, Dante pulls out a grenade and tosses it towards the cursor on the screen. We were told that this ability is supposed to have some kind of targeting icon that wasn't in this build, but is already created and in place for future builds, which will be great. But for this build, it is not there. That'll be there to help you target where you're tossing the grenade. But this tossed out and does a huge AoE damage field to everything that's in it. In the use case of this test, it seemed to be one-shotting both myths and minions in the late game. I'm 99% sure that that's not intended and will get changed going into the future. But it's good to know that it does a lot of damage. It does considerably more than the one ability, and hopefully stays on a very good damage base where you can use it to poke and wave clear as well. I did notice also a trick you can do is if you turn to run away from an enemy, you can throw it at the ground and blow up the area behind you, hopefully dissuading them from chasing you down in the future. So I think that's a great tactic that we might be able to use against other myths, against people that are trying to show up in your lane and gank you or things like that once Ethereal is able to come full-fledged and play on the real map. Dante's 3 abilities very straightforward. It's a combat roll that you just roll in the direction that you're moving. It can be used left, right, forward, back, and just helps you get around quicker, but also dodge enemy skill shots. Because it seems like from what we heard in the extra live stream, the devs are wanting to have more skill shots than lock-on abilities, which I completely agree with. So being able to dodge those skill shots is going to be a huge factor for Dante, and it just felt kind of satisfying to use the combat roll in whatever direction you decided. Now, in Ethereal, the 4th ability is going to be your ultimate ability on most myths, is my understanding. Your ultimate will be unlocked at level 5, and in Dante's case, he uses what I and very, very many others affectionately have started calling the bass cannon because of the just roaring sound you get when you fire the thing. He pulls out a large rifle, kneels to the ground, and just fires a huge blast straight ahead, seemingly goes the entire map. So it's a global ultimate, For any Paragon players out there, it's very similar to Murdoch's Long Arm of the Law ultimate ability. And finally, so that brings us to Dante's right click. I find this to be Dante's most interesting ability and the thing that I am most excited to see in the future, assuming it applies to more people. Dante fires a giant barrage of basic attacks forward, dealing massive damage in a very short amount of time. However, at the very end of it, Dante's unable to auto attack or use any abilities of any kind, including the combat roll, for a couple seconds. I wasn't able to measure how long it was between the end of the burst damage and when he can start doing things again, but if I had to estimate, it's probably 2 to 3 seconds long of this silence. But like I said, it's massive burst damage very, very quickly. So it's a very high risk, high reward type ability that can get you a kill, but also get you killed if used in the wrong scenarios. So that to me is very exciting. It creates a level of counterplay that I know Dante's used his right click. So I have a 3 second window to go in and do damage with very little repercussion from the Dante specifically. And it limits his options. He can't just use it all the time. And Dante's right click, the burst damage worked on towers. So you were actually able to burst down towers with this ability, but then leave yourself open to damage afterwards, which I think is a very, very cool idea that is being brought into Ethereal. And I don't know if this is going to be a similar theme among all myths or if this is just Dante specific. I would love to see it apply to more people, have everybody have a like high risk, high reward type ability. But unfortunately, I just don't have the information for you guys. But trust me, the second I know something, I will let you know. Uh, Overall, the game felt incredible. It was very smooth to play. If you see any hitches in the footage that I have, it's more my internet hitching more than it is the game hitching itself because other people weren't having that issue. It felt smooth. The abilities were fun to use. It was just an overall good time to play the game. And uh, it just it made me want to keep playing after I was done. We played for about an hour and a half, if I remember correctly, and at the end of that, I just wanted to keep playing. I wasn't like, okay, yeah, hour and a half, I'm good. Even though it was just Dante, everybody was on Dante, it was still super great fun, and I can't wait to see what they're able to do with the other 6 pre-alpha characters and do all of the things with them and have a real MOBA map and do have all of those mechanics. If you haven't seen that gameplay already, I will link it in the description to both UG's video of the gameplay and my own personal video of the gameplay. And I'll link all of their socials, Twitter, Discord, all of those things. But guys, make sure you get subscribed. I'm definitely not done covering Ethereal. I'm going to have many, many, many more videos coming to you guys. And please feel free to let me know in the comments what you think of Dante's kit. And feel free to ask me any questions you can think of. And if I can, I'll answer them, or I'll see if someone from UG can answer them. Because I think we're finally on track to keep moving forward. I think things are starting to fall in place that we might be able to see a lot more gameplay soon. So yeah, thanks guys.